Morning, everybody. Oh, good morning, folks. Monday again. Wow, here we go. Michael Superbacker is in the house this morning. Thanks for joining me. Gonna fix my audio here this morning. Just gonna little stream running here this morning for you folks. Good morning. It's Monday. Happy Fun Day. Coffee time. Time to make the coffee. Tom Mitchell's in the house. The best thing about Monday is here. You folks are here. And your wish is my command. Rub that bottle, the genie comes out. Brodini? I don't know. We're going to do a morning show for you folks. It's all about magic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it. Let's make sure everything's working just right. Onboarding new subscribers, 213 fans of Magic the Gathering, the most amazing people in the world. Thank you all for joining life with me each and every morning. We talk Magic cards, we talk card prices, and if there's too much of that information floating around out there for you to make sense of, you've come to the right place. You mean the bottle that Kukas comes out of? That's right. Anybody in the house today having a good day so far? It's Monday. Are you feeling like Garfield? Do you want to just get out of bed, kick the dog? Maybe you want to grab the covers and just pull them back over your head. And still trying to wrap my head around the price of Magic cards. I can no longer keep up. I can't either, Tom Mitchell. That's why I'm here with you folks. Don't worry, I got you covered. Good morning, everybody. It's Brody. It's the Monday show. Happy to be here. How was your weekend? What did you get up to? I played a little Commander over at the Coopers. It was really fun. Enjoyed that. It was first time doing stream. If you had a chance to check it out, thank you, folks, very much. Appreciate that. That was a lot of fun. Got some new subscribers, some people from all over the world tuning in. It's great to hear from you, folks. The chat, chitter chatter every morning. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, what did you guys get up to this weekend? Let me know in the comment section. I gotta just get the chat running here, make sure that that's working smooth for everybody here this morning. Michael Superbacker says, good morning, it's time to make the coffee. Tom Mitchell says the best thing about Monday is here. Thank you very much, Tom Mitchell. I appreciate it. This is truly my favorite thing to do. If it weren't for you guys turning up every single week to make this possible, there would be no show. The bro wouldn't exist. You wouldn't even know, right? But the point is, we're here. We're going to have a good time. Benson's in the house, so we know the tech is good. Tom Mitchell's here. Tom Mitchell standing by to call the list this morning. Let us know, Tom, what we're going to do this morning. I'm going to build myself a copy. It's going to be the first one of the day, and I'm going to enjoy it with you folks here. All right. Give me just a second to arrive on the show with you folks here today. A little coffee in the cup. Did you guys hear the one about the circus? It's intense. Had to go meet my lawyer this weekend. He was called me over, went for a drink, and when it was all said and done, he looked at me and said, "I'll be suing you." That's okay. That's a good cup. That's a good coffee. Still trying to wrap my head around. Nice hat, right? You noticed. Thank you. Somebody noticed. We're switching it up here this morning. It's fine. Same great show, different hat, new day, new cup of coffee. Got my Brody Alfonso mug here. Had Commander at the Coopers on the weekend. That was a lot of fun. A 4-person stream. It was good. If you get a chance, check it out. Never done that before. It was the first. And I want to sort of thank everybody who turned up to check that out. I really enjoyed it. Let's get right to it. I know your time is valuable and there's none to waste. So this is the place. Let's have a little fun here this morning. We're going to check out some AI generated magic cards. If it's we'll go over the rules for every. Might as well go. It's Monday. Might as well go over the rules again. Got to. Okay, so you know the rules. Any gibberish on the card, we fail it. None whatsoever. Your time is too precious to waste. So let's get right to it. Let's take a look at this first card. So even if it's a little overcosted, we're still going to give it a pass. But if there's any gibberish on the card whatsoever, we fail it. We get rid of it. We get it out of here. There's no messing around. All right, what do we got here? Mind Cavening. A split card. All right, a split card. Ah, interesting. First split card we've had, I think. Mind Cavening? Cavering. Mind Cavering. Caverning. Mind Cavening. I don't understand. Let's get this out of here. Too many Brodies. That's my doppelganger. In case anybody was wondering. High five. All right, this one's 2 blue and 2, and it's an arcane sorcery. We haven't seen arcane sorcery in a while, but it's good that it's here. Choose one. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. That seems okay. Seems odd in blue, but it does seem fine. And then let's look at the other part of the card. Mind Cavening deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Also doesn't seem too bad, but if it's in blue, usually it's when I want to protect the flyers. No problem. Okay, and then the split card is a colorless sorcery for 0 mana. Flesh Horror. Mind Caverning and Flesh Horror. Aftermath, exile target non-land permanent. For 0? I think this is undercosted. This seems undercosted, if you ask me. What is going on here? I don't know. I think it's just too cheap, right, Bob? Like, can we pass this? Tom says, Brody, do you have cards that you might be buy listing before they get a reprint and tank, like Great Henge and Psych Rift? Yes, I actually dig out a Psych Rift and threw it in the box. Now this is the thing too. Now the Moxman did a I got to give a shout out to the MTG Moxman. He did a video a little while ago, and Psych Rift was on that list, and a few cards that people would say buy back later, right? So that's shorting. So good topic. Good. I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, because do you know why brokers make you broker? Do you know? No. Do you know why they're called stockbrokers? Man, it's morning. Because they make you broker, right? That's called shorting. If you're going to sell it, so anybody who's new to Magic, sometimes cards get reprinted, and if they're expensive, you can try and buy them back later. Now, for me personally, that becomes a logistics problem because I would have to either order them or travel a distance to get to a LGS. I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee. What's the aftermath? I don't know. We don't know what aftermath is. It depends what the aftermath is. If it is a difficult requirement to reach, perhaps, then it's fair. I don't know what aftermath is. Since we don't know, let's fail it. I'm going to fail it. Oh, it's out of here. Yeah, we don't know what aftermath is. But nevertheless, Tom, that's a good point. Let's answer Tom's question. It's a great point. Do I have cards that I'm buy listing and I'm maybe looking to buy back later? Maybe not exactly your question. Like Great Henge, for example. I have one Great Henge, but that's the one I opened, which is the full art foil version. Yes, the best one. So I have the best Great Henge, the full art borderless showcase foil. Got it out of a collector's pack. So and then I had a basic Henge and traded that straight away. Maybe it wasn't a buy list a few months ago. I should look back to see if I did all right on that one. And then Psych Rift, I also opened the best Psych Rift, which is like the full art borderless foil. So, and then I have the other Psych Rift. So I'm like thinking I might get rid of one of the Psych Rift, but I'm not gonna get rid of. I'm gonna try not to get rid of anything that I would have to buy back later that I might either forget about. Maybe not be. Maybe there's other people that are looking to do that too. But getting rid of, see, Psych Rift is one of those cards that it's controversial. This is the one that just brings all the permanents back to your hand, right? Except your opponent's hand. So it's like I don't have a problem maybe buying that one back later, but the Great Henge, it's I can't part with it. Let's check out so I don't have a list per se, but I do have some cards that I'm looking at going, hey, if this gets reprinted, yes. Let me grab the buy list box. In the buy list box, we got, yeah, here Mesa and Psych Rift. Okay, so I'm throwing one in there. Accept the fact that nothing is the reserve, nothing except the reserve list is safe. Okay, so check this Arc Fiend of Despair. How about Authority of the Consoles? That's one that I'm throwing in there because I had opened a bunch of these in Amonkhet. So Authority of the Consoles, that was a pretty easy open in Kaladesh, rather. And that's $10 on the buy list. It's pretty much as high as it's going to be. It will see a reprint at some time. So that, and this card from M19, I'm considering putting this one in the buy list. That's the big money Resplendent Angel. So that one's like $25, $35 bill right there, in a buy list plus store credit. So that's pretty good. So those are some examples. Those two for sure. I know the Resplendent Angel will get a reprint at some time, and it's just really expensive right now. Mesa Enchantress, Hushbringer, Lingering Souls, Saram, Restoration Angel, and this is one that I'm not too sure about anymore because now with the spoiling of dinos and vampires is the Gishath, Sun's Avatar. So this one I'm considering like taking out of the box because I think it's going to be really good. The Gishath Sun's Avatar, Dinosaur Tribal, but who knows? If it doesn't see a reprint anytime soon, it will be good. But so those are the items. So thus far, we're up to about this. So yeah, thanks. Good question, Tom. And a lot of actually a lot of the goblins, like pretty much everything except a one of out of my goblins, uh, is going like the loyalist and the goblin guides and any of the modern gobos. Resplendent Angel is in my life gain deck. It's so hard to part with, right? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the only one I got, but I'm thinking it's gonna see a reprint at some time. So yeah, and buying back later. So that's like almost like shorting a stock, right? So like you know how the stock market works. People who have cash can like it's really risky, right? So like people who have cash in the stock market. Let's bring up the price of Hasbro stock here. Speaking of stock, so like let's just take a look at the price of Hasbro stock real quick. What are we at? 56.43. On a 1 year, we're down a bit. So like people who buy stocks, they like brokers, right? These brokers that take your money, they're like, hey, I work at a bank. I got a really good, so much a month you could just put into this, and it's a guaranteed trading, whatever, low risk, medium risk, high risk. You ever get pitched that one? It's high, medium, low risk. Yeah, you probably have heard of it. And it's fine. To give somebody else your money, right? But that's essentially what they do. So then there's like a high risk. Like there's another thing too is like becoming like an accredited investor. So that's the difference between regular folks and people who can buy private companies. Like so Hasbro is a public company. There are private companies that have stock, and to buy their stock, you have to be an accredited investor. There's probably an exam that you have to take, much like, um, much like getting a license or a bar exam to become a lawyer. So that's sort of another thing that a lot of people don't know. And then like a lot of people that work in the stock room, like you remember the Wolf of Wall Street, like Buddy had to pass an exam, right? And then you pass the exam, then you can buy private placements in private companies. But this is a public company, and what people do when they short stocks or like look to sell magic cards and then buy them back later, they do the exact same thing. It's like, I'm going to sell these cards on into the buy list, knowing it's gonna go lower, right? It's gonna go lower. It's like somebody who shorted Hasbro stock here, and it's funny, like why is it called short? And then there's a movie called The Big Short. If you haven't seen that, that one's a good movie. It's pretty interesting. So myself, I'm a little bit risk averse. And now I'm a little bit older. I understand that is effectively shorting a magic card. So I I know that it can be done. You got to be selective. I wouldn't do too much. Maybe pick a couple things that you think, hey, I could buy these back later. But what happens is this is where people really lose their shirt, and it's happened. Like people do all kinds of crazy things. They'll buy a stock or they'll borrow a stock from another brokerage house. They'll borrow a stock, and it's all done on contracts. Like the funny thing is like nothing really changes hands until the end of the day in the stock market. Like there's a lot of everything just goes on paper. So you're running on credit. But so you borrow some stock from another broker or brokerage house, or you write a contract saying that, like, I'm going to sell this stock today, thinking it's going to go down. So if you had done that with Hasbro back here in March 2022, 1 year ago, so you borrow some Hasbro stock and sell, 100,000 shares. But in that contract, you have to like promise to repay it by a certain date. It's called a term, right? And then you got to give those stocks back. So what people do is they'll borrow a whole bunch of it, right? And like this is the thing is when people say I shorted the stock market, it's like I borrowed a bunch of stock and sold it for cash. Now I'm sitting on the cash and waiting for it to go lower, right? Kind of a risky play because if it goes the other way, it um you still have to pay them back. Like it gets bad, right? So just keep in mind, when what you're doing there, don't sell the farm, right? Don't, because you'll be out of the game. That can put you out of the game, right? Let's check this out here. Let's go back to the next magic card here on it. Let's creepy art here. Let's go to the next card here this morning. Good question, Tom Mitchell. Love having you on the show. Thanks a bunch. I hope that yes, but I'm always kind of doing that, and because Magic cards is cyclical and there's always sets coming out, and you have to watch the card prices. That's why we check these card prices every single day. Get up in the morning, look at them, and the thing is like stocks and certain things don't like make me happy. Like it's funny when you get up and go to the work, and it's like if you don't like what you're doing, um, you're gonna have to work. So if you like what you're doing, if you like doing it like I do, I like to look at these cards every single day, see what they're doing, see what new sets are coming out, see how that's affecting everything. And then it's not really a job. It's like a passion, right? This sounds creepy, but it's not. Immostal Archer. 1414, boys, tune in to the show. We've got our, what do you know? Okay, it's a 1414. It's 9 mana, 6 3 white and 6 for this flying vigilance. It's like, I think, artifact creature vehicle. Whenever Immostal Archer becomes untapped, you may have target spell or ability that's tapped and attacking. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Immostal Archer. So close. So close. All they had to say was like, whenever it becomes untapped, you may put a 1/1 counter on something. But they screw it kind of got we gotta fail it. Got gibbery. It's got gibberish on it. It's really bad. Had high hopes for this white artifact vehicle. It doesn't crew either, so it's got some work to do. 9 mana for a 14/14. I don't know who's casting this, but hey, maybe you could short some Hasbro stock to pay for this casting cost, huh? Tom Mitchell, what else you got going into your? Are you buy listing anything? Just out of question. Great Henge. I only have one Great Henge. The Psych Rift went in the box. I'm keeping the good one. I've got the Resplendent Angel in the box and a few others. And I'm still gonna do some more buy listing videos over the next couple of months. I want to get something together and pick up something older. What's next? Oh, this card. We have an elk. It's elk time. I'm stoked. Richie Dubs, are you in the house? If you were, check out this card. This card is, I like this card so far. The art is good. It's elky. I may have peeked at this one, but I'm excited. Check this out. Okay, the Ambascust. This is so flavor, right? It's 1 green and 3 for a 2/3 elk with flash. See, the last time we had an elk, it didn't work out because there was gibberish on the card and it didn't work out, and it had really good art, and it was like the stag that had like the color on it. Ever try elk meat? Ever try? This is one for you, Joe. That's right. So this one's got a 2/3 with flash for 1 green and 3. When it enters the battlefield, return target spell to its owner's hand. Now, is that a Venser, Shaper Savant on an elk? Oko would be proud. I'll tell you this. It's really good, right? In green too. Can we pass it, Bob? Please give it a pass. I like this card. It's an elk. It's a 2/3. Look at the speed on this sucker. Nice rack. Puffy little tail. So cute. I gotta give it a pass. It's good. It's busted, but like it's a magic card. It is. It's ridiculous. It's in a rare slot, so it's fine. But it's an elk. Who wants to play elk tribal? I do. I would build an elk deck. I would. Elks and wolves. I don't know. This is I just got I'm just amazed that this card is so cool. The last time we had an elk, it didn't work out so well. That's too bad. Let's check the next card. What do we got? Oh, now they're starting to rate it. It says, how do you evaluate the Embass Cust? Okay, so cool. There's boxes we can start clicking. Let's go back. Okay, so how would you rate Immortal Archer? We got choices now. See, they've upgraded this for feedback. Is it OP? Oh, we got to go back to the beginning and rate some of these here. Just the first one. So Immortal Archer, is it OP, fair, unplayable, or word salad? We're gonna give that a word salad. 59% of people said word salad as well. Ambassador Cust, this is playable. This is fair. It's OP. Is this OP? I think we got OP, fair, unplayable, or word salad. I don't think it's OP. Is it OP? Help me out here, folks. I mean, Brody wants to give this a fair, but it's 4 mana. It's a green and 3. It's a 2/3, and it's an elk. I mean, it dies. It dies to removal. Oh, okay. I gotta rate this one. I want to give it a fair. It's definitely a magic card. Bob, I think we got to give Bob the final say on this. He's got that critical and on honest insight. He's gonna say like, Brody, no, come on, like you can only have so much for allowance this morning. You can't borrow the car and the credit card. No, what is it, Bob? is this OP? What do you guys think? Benson says some non-reserve list bought a secret layer OG Atraxa and a secret layer Contagion engine with store credit. See what I can get on open market. It's a built-into Cloudstone Curio. It's a built-into Cloudstone Curio. Yeah, seems really good in a blank deck. Can I give it a fair, or does it have to be OP? We got creatures and easy to cheat. Yes, they are. Is this OP then? We got choices. We got to rank these things now. See, we're moving up in the world. People are like, "Hey, I noticed Brody, you're doing this morning show every morning, rating these magic cards. So we're gonna need you to rate these ones. I think it should be mythic, right? What is what's Venser Shaper Savant? Is he a rare? What's Venser? What's Venser? Shaper Savant. Venser is a rare. So maybe it's fine. I'm going to give it a fair. Seems fine. 80% of people agree. It's a fair card. 14% of people say it's OP. It's totally playable. Okay, so 80% of people think this thing is fair. All right. We'll give it a pass. Keep on going. I like it. Look at this potato head. What is this? Climpus the Fungus. Okay. Climpus the Fungus. Good morning, Twiddler. How you doing, buds? Nice to have you here this morning. Thanks for joining. We're running a little bit of AI generated magic cards. We're talking about shorting stocks, like borrowing stocks. Yeah, like see, this would be the thing. You wouldn't want to borrow your friend's magic cards and buy list them and then have them go up. Right? We're talking about shorting magic cards, selling cards on the buy list and buying back later. Which ones? And then we're looking at some of these AI generated magic cards. Climpus the Fungus, as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card at random. Deals 5 damage to target creature. For 6. Ugh. The fun cop is here. Settle down. Good morning, Richie Dubs. Good morning, Michael Superbacker. Time capsule. How you doing? I think this is fine. I think we could give Climpus a. We could go give Climpus a pass. I think we'll give Climpus a pass. He seems okay. It's funny though, right? You got to lose a card. It's a sorcery and it's 5 damage for 6 mana. It seems expensive, overcosted. I don't like Climpus. It looks like a. Is that just like a face photoshopped on a burl? Looks like a burl. Bad card, eh? It's just a bad card. What about this one? Turret Forager, the 2/3. Phasing is back. Oh, phasing's back. Phasing is back, folks. But playable. It is playable, Bob. You're right. It's totally playable. Turret the Forager. 2/3 phasing death touch. When Forager enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, destroy target non-artifact creature. It can't be regenerated. This seems fine. The Turret Forager. It's a horror. It looks spidery. It could be a spider if we want. If you know, if they wanted to make that a spider, very well could. The art checks out. 2 black horror Turret Forager. I mean, 2/3. It's got decent stats. Mana cost is all right. Creature type. Sometimes I kind of miss looking at certain spots on the card because that's like you almost take it for granted that they're gonna increase, they're not gonna make it a land, right? But it could happen. This thing seems fair. We'll give this a pass. And then we're gonna keep going here this morning. Let's do a couple more here, warming up with you folk, getting folks into the chat. We're gonna do one more card here, and it's this one, the Arrow Dragon. Arrow Dragon. Look at the top 3 card. Oh my god, this is gonna be this is gonna be a show. All right. Okay, so this is 2 green and 2 for 4 loyalty. Legendary Planeswalker Whale. It's called an Arrow Dragon, but it is in fact a whale. All right, so let's go look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. The +1 is fine. -1, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That seems fine too. And a -8. Holy smokes, that's a really big loyalty ability. So for -8, I hope it wins the game. Choose a color. Arrow Dragon deals damage to any target equal to the number of lands you control. I don't know why you need to choose a color, but it doesn't break the card or make it unplayable. I think, how would you rate it? This one was rated fair. Fair. Fair enough. Well, that's not too bad. It seems fair. Pretty good. Pretty interesting card. I don't think it's that too bad. I'm going to check the stock desk for a couple of news articles for you folks here. Hopefully, we can get something good to go over this morning. Oh my gosh. There's just so much to go over here this morning. Man, it's a busy day. It's Monday. Like, what are you guys up to? Where have you got Brody? Uh this is the thing. Where have you got me? You got me dragging from the bumper of the car, dangling from the rear view mirror, maybe in the dash in your pocket. Like coffee counter with a cup of coffee. Are you just at the workplace? Are you on vacation? Are you semi-retired? Are you just sitting on the beach, drinking margaritas? I hope you are. It's and if you are, thanks for joining us. Arrow Dragon the whale. I know, right? It's sad. We can't, yeah, we can't count it. It's not that good. Morning, folks. It's Brody. Do you like checking the prices of Magic cards? Is there enough information out there, or is there just too much darn information out there? It don't make sense of it all. The metagame's always changing. Prices are going up. Some cards are getting reprinted. I'm getting hosed when they reprint, and I can't seem to pick up any good deals on products. Uh, if this see like too much going on all at once, let me do it for you. I'm here every morning with you, amazing fans of Magic the Gathering, who love the game as much as we do. I'm going to do a little weekly winners from last week recap from the stock desk. Let's take a look. Origin's got article for us from the stock desk. We're going to check it out here this morning. The over under, or no, this was the weekly winners from last week. But we've also got the over under. It's funny. But the Pro Tour Phyrexia was concluded, and that was Reed Duke, I think, who took it. Denied. How can a whale be a walker? I don't. That's a good point. I'm gonna take one last look at the whale. Right. Pro Tour Phyrexia is concluded, and this week we see some cards moving because of the top 8 decks. But weekly winners wouldn't be complete without one card moving because of Commander. So this week, also over the weekend, I seen somebody won the face-to-face modern event. That's here in Canada, so that's pretty great. They won it with stock Hammer Time. So Hammer Time took a face-to-face over the weekend as well. So this stock Hammer Time deck was the deck. Let's start with the weekly winners, okay? So Organic Extinction. This card here is a white card. It's a fun card, which is a card found in the Commander deck. Buckle up, Commander deck. Commander Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. For a bunch of mana, which is 10, you get to destroy all non-artifact creatures, but unfortunately the card has Improvise, meaning you can tap artifacts to cast for the spell. So destroy all non-artifact creatures. You can improvise this thing out. It's sorcery speed. It's like $6 right now. That seems okay. Wow, look at the spike up in price on this card. Like, what did it go up? 500%? It has improvise. And if you're wondering what deck sweeper for every non-artifact creature might be good, probably guessed it. Decks that exclusively run artifact creatures. Now, the mirrors that are being spoiled, this might also be another reason to play this in mirrors. The card has already seen some play in decks that care about artifact creatures like Lita, Mechanical Engineer, and this Ultra Magnus Tactician, but it's become popular with the printing of the new Mirror Commander Urtet. Yes, the Remnant Memnarch. It's almost like they're, yeah, it's almost like this. It's like a lot of price movement based around this card too, as well as Malcator Purity Overseer. This is a Phyrexian. Now let's take a look at this one. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem. That's maybe why we saw the Blade Splicer kind of. If you guys want to pick up copies of anything, pick up copies that make tokens, like the Blade Splicer is right now. I think we talked about that last week. A good pickup right now would be the Blade Splicer. At the beginning of your end step, if 3 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, This turn, create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature token. Wow. That seems pretty decent. Number 2 is the Colossus Hammer, a card that's played in Pioneer. And gonna apologize in advance for the clickbaity 306% and $8 headline for Colossus Hammer when a version from Core Set 2022 can still be had for $4. Nevertheless, all three prints of the card are going up and going up quickly. Hammer Time decks have already been popular in Modern. These decks combine the Colossus Hammer that we see before with Sigarda's Aid and Pure Steel Paladin to win the game. It enters the battlefield under your control. You may draw a card, and as you can, if equipment you control has equipped 0 as long as you have Metalcraft. Recently, the deck also seems to be viable in Pioneer with the printing of new cards like Kemba, Ka Enduring Cacophony. Kemba, Ka Enduring. Ooh, this is a 2/2 cat. There's a new cat in Phyrexia. Whenever Kemba, Ka Enduring, or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, attach up to one target equipment you control to that creature. So Kemba gets the hammer, a big upgrade from his staff, and he's also got an anthem on him saying equipped creatures get +2/+2. Gives himself a buff. So he's like a what? 13/13? Pretty seems okay. The +1 ability does not math right. Warhammer Precons. And then this Screv, the Deflector Might. Oh, if people are putting the hammer on the Might, and then or on anything, and then it can't be blocked. If you put the hammer on the Might, oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, you see what's happening here? People are putting the hammer on the Might or putting the hammer on a creature and then giving it Toxic. And then it gets hexproof from that color. And then you only need to hit them once with the hammer. Or it's Toxic 1, they get 1 poison counter. No, I think they just get 1 poison counter. 10 damage. Nevertheless, you're getting hit with a hammer, it's going to be bad times. Anger Collections is in the house. Good morning, my man. Nice to see you this morning, Anger. Thanks for tuning in. What did you get up to this weekend? We're talking about a couple of things here on the channel. Thanks for joining, Anger. I really appreciate you for tuning in. We're talking about buy listing cards and buying them back later. In a sense, shorting Magic cards or shorting a stock. It's sort of the same thing. Do you have any experience doing that? Which cards would you be sending into the buy list right now? Brody's been combing through the collection and looking for extra copies of overpriced stuff that might see a reprint. We're also looking for like some cheap pickups. And we're taking a look at the weekly winners from last week, the cards that were moving because of the format printings and the competitive Phyrexia All Will Be One tournament that happened over the weekend and the winningest decks. Thanks for joining, Anger. Glad you're here joining in on the discussion. We're talking about the Colossus Hammer, a card that keeps going up in price. Now this one is, there's a cheaper version of it. This is the $8 one, but nevertheless the card seems to be moving up constantly the more that deck wins. Take a look at the most notable card in the set, the Skrelv Deflector Might. Defector Might. It's a very cheap to cast creature from Phyrexia All Will Be One. This Toxic ability, and this thing is crazy because it stacks. If you can do this again, it target creature gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof. So if you do it once, they gain Toxic 1, then Toxic 2, then 3, 4, 5, and it goes on and on and on and on again. Do you know much about the Warhammer 40K precons? How do y'all feel about them? So this Toxic 1 ability grants a creature hexproof from a certain color and unblockable by creatures of that color. It makes sure that the creature carrying the hammer can connect and end the game quickly. The past week we've seen Skrelv moving up as well, 92% to $10. It's $10, man. It was like a couple bucks. Now it's 10. While it's an interesting card, this card's being played in Pioneer Hammer Time. It also saw play in 2 decks in the Pro Tour Top 8, Selesnya Auras and Mono White Humans. So like if you can't buy all the sets that are coming out, right? Like here's the thing. If you can't buy all the sets that are coming out because there's just too many of them, or you got to be picky and choosy about what products come out. The thing I love about Magic is that when they print new cards, like some of the other cards that you may already have from sets past are going to move in price. They're maybe going up, maybe going down, and that's another way you can get some fun into your collection if you pay attention with me on the best morning show about Magic the Gathering in the entire world with you folks, the 213 of you folks who tune in. It's pretty great. Thanks again. We're talking about the weekly winners from last week. And that brings us to this card here. It's Indomitable Creativity for 33 bucks. Interesting card. There's deck build arounds. Just last week when we mentioned Indomitable Creativity, it received a new target in the form of Atraxa Grand Unifier. Okay, so people are targeting Atraxa with this. 3 red and X. Destroy X target artifacts and or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards from the top of his or her library. Until an artifact creature card is revealed, and exile that card. Those players put the exile cards onto the battlefield and shuffle their library. I'm not sure where we're going with this, but let's just hold on a little longer. The last big spike discussed was August 2022 for Indomitable Creativity. That's right around where this bump up is, right here. The last big spike was right around here. August of 2022, and now it just drifted down a little bit in price, and now it's back up again because the Archon, right? That Archon of Cruelty, maybe that was what I think that was the one that was making this really good. So in August 2022, this card had a big spike. It cheated out big things for little mana as a viable strategy in many decks. It was competitive, so it seems. We all knew Indomitable Creativity was doing very well in Modern, especially with Atraxa, but it seems to be very good in Pioneer as well. Looking at the last week was the Pro Tour, and Phyrexia had 2 of the top 8 decks played in Indomitable Creativity. And what's probably more important is that the Pro Tour was won by Reed Duke. Haha, by playing this deck. Congratulations. This shows the power of the deck to the world, which almost immediately gets eyes on these cards. People want to play this deck as well, and prices shoot up. Like I mentioned earlier, Reed Duke did take the Pro Tour over the weekend, and Hammer Time won a face-to-face open in Canada. So they're talking about this here as well. We're talking about Indomitable Creativity. The exact same reason we see World Spine Worm shooting up in price to $16.69, which is a 67% increase because Reed Duke plays a single World Spine Worm and a Xenagos God of Revels in this build. This means that if he can target 2 artifacts with Indomitable Creativity, he's guaranteed to have both the Worm and the God in play, meaning he now has 33rd of Trampling Hasty Worm. Destroy X target artifacts and/or creatures for each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals. So you destroy X things, and then you get to go get more things. And the best things that you get are these ones. Worldspine Worm is 11 mana, 15/15. When it dies, you get 3 5/5s with trample, and when it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, it just shuffles back in. Xenagos, the God of Revels, says if your devotion to red and green is less than 7, Xenagos isn't a creature. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains haste and XX until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. Yeah, so he doubles it. This would be good in Commander raids. Maybe it is. Buy listing. Okay, Anger says buy listing as a seller and buy listing as a player is 2 different strategies. Very cool comment. The might is a mother of runes. Yeah, it is. Like I thought, that's what I thought. I was like, this thing. I think it can work with Mother of Ruins. That's sort of what I was thinking, Coach. Like if the 2 together would be particularly good because you can change the color or give it pro. It's like a Mother of Runes, I guess. Yeah. Playing Commander raids can also add new value to cards you did not consider good in your collection, like Indentured Djinn. Yes, it's a fact. buy listing as I would consider myself more a player personally because I'm always trying to get cards. I don't know. I would say I would consider myself a player. I would say first. I'm not really a seller. I only buy list to stores. I'm not like have a store where I sell. So um just a player. So two different strategies. Maybe Anger can touch on that a little bit more. Can you give us some more details? I'd love to hear the opinion from someone like yourself. Anger, thanks a lot. I appreciate your comment. So if you want to look at Reed Duke's Indomitable Creativity deck, here it is. Here, I got a copy of the deck list for everybody. One Xenagos, got a Revels, one World Spine Worm. Those are the two reanimate targets. I want to know, where are we getting all the mana for this? I guess that's the question. So you want to hit this for 5 and get the World Spine Worm, I guess? Do you set up the top of your deck? Secrets of the Key. This spell is cast from the graveyard, investigate twice. To investigate, create a colorless clue. So you get the clues. Valakut Awakening. Put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards plus 1. Dig Through Time. Spell Pierce. Spike Field Hazard. Target does 1 damage to target any target. If a permanent is dealt damage this way, would die this turn, exile it. Make disappear. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Impulse. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. Big Score is additional cost to cast this spell. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Create 2 treasure tokens. Big Score. Nice. And then the Indomitable Creativity. Shark Typhoon. One of those in there. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark token with flying. And then Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the one that makes the 2/2. I sort of want to know, like, how are we setting up the top of the deck? We've got to be able to set up the top of the deck to hit that with the Indomitable. Hall of Storm Giants, another win condition. You can get yourself a 7/7 giant out of this. Coach says he pre-ordered the Might in step and complete foil for a few bucks. Thought it was cool card. It is cool. You know, and that's the thing. That's how it kind of goes usually, is like you'll see a card, you'll be like, that's cool. And it's good to pick it up if it's cheap on pre-order. It was like the Ledger Shredder. I just thought it was cool. I was like, cool, a bird. I can play a bird that draws cards. And then it like started seeing play in competitive. If it makes its way into a competitive deck, that top 8s, it's gonna even go higher. So some cheap pickups that we're talking about before we head on to the next segment of our show is this Steel Seraph from the Brothers War. This card's been slowly moving up. Artifact Creature Angel for 6 mana. It's got the prototype on it. This one has been identified as a premium penny stock picture card to pick up. And it's reached its bottom and is on a consistent uptrend. And Vegevine. Man, this is a card I refused to buy when it was popular in Modern. I lost to it a lot. And that's what I like. This is the funny thing. People ask, they're like, Brody, I don't mind losing at Magic cards. It doesn't mean I'm going to need to run out and buy the most expensive card. When this card was in Modern and it was played with Prized Amalgam or the jellyfish that comes back into play for free, flip it from your graveyard, the Prized Amalgam and the Vegevine. It was expensive. I didn't run out and buy it. It would be nice if I opened it, but now maybe be the time to pick it up if you did ever want a copy of it. It's going down in price, $7.50. Titania Nature's Lore. This card slowly moving up. You may play forests from your graveyard. I gotta ask, what do you guys think about the new artifact in Phyrexia that allows you to play lands from your graveyard? I think it's really good. That's a card that I was thinking about pre-ordering. The green one. Green now has another artifact that lets you play lands from your graveyard. I think that one's particularly good. We're gonna keep an eye on it. I opened one and I thought, you know, it was like the Might. I didn't open the Might, but I looked at it, I said, that's a cool card. That's going to be popular. Good morning, Peach. Coach's Magic Coach's Magic $40,000 out the box. I didn't understand. Oh, morning, Peach. 40K is a Warhammer deck, Peach. There's it's called Warhammer 40,000. I think that's just I'm not a Warhammer player. I have friends who play it. Morning, Peach. Yeah, Warhammer is like another mashup set. There's another like the game with the miniatures. So like the ones people paint, and that's pretty cool because it's like a modeling type of game. So Warhammer has like their latest set was 40K, and that did a mashup. It's not a $40,000 precon. Don't worry. But Coach wants to know if they're worth buying. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining us, Commander. So Arjun wants to say thanks. He's been playing Magic since Ice Age and Legacy for 10 years. Founder of MTG Stock Desk. Played with his friends and wanted to buy Magic singles at the right time to play with. So we're just going over some Magic stocks this morning, some cards that were winning over the weekend, the Hammer, Colossus Hammer, as well as the Indomitable Creativity. Tom Mitchell's in the house. Good morning, everybody. Everybody watching, tuning in around the world, no matter where you're from, no matter where you go. All are welcome here on the show. Appreciate your... Yeah, that's fine. If you're new to Magic and you're just joining us, we're so happy to have you here. It's a pleasure to do the show. The best darn Magic the Gathering morning show in the world. We're doing it every single day, Monday to Friday. If you like, Peach, do you like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Is there enough information out there, or is there too much information? I'm doing it every day with the folks, MTG Gaming Bob, Coach, Richie Dubs, Michael Superbacker, Tom Mitchell's in the house, Benson, Time Capsule, good morning. All the folks here this morning. Tom Mitchell, we're going to look at the movers and you hear what that sound is? You know what time it is. It's time for the movers and shakers. Tom, what are we going to do here this morning? I'm going to build myself a cup of coffee and just say thanks for everybody for tuning in on the show. We're going to get ready to run this list. Let's look at the top movers and the shakers for Monday morning. It is February 27th, 2023. Thank you for joining Life with me. It's Brody. I have a feeling I know what Tom's going to say. I have a feeling if I could guess it. Tom, what are we going to do here this morning? We're going to keep it real Monday morning. The movers and the shakers here. Let's look at the top moving as cards in the game of Magic the Gathering. What's going on? Just keeping an eye on the prices of Magic cards. If you're new to Magic, I would suggest tuning into the show whenever you can, dropping in and having a look at the card prices. Sometimes these movers and the shakers, they have bad information. We like to go through it. There's some cards that spike and we don't know why. There's some anomalies that happen. There's some, there's cards that move and you go, it makes no sense to me, Brody, whatsoever. And sometimes things just make no sense at all, just like a gibberish card. So let's get ready to take a look. Maybe we're going to run this modern list here. Good morning, folks. It's Monday. Are you guys heading to Modern Monday? Let's do it. If Robert O'Brien was here, this stream goes out to you. Let's hit the modern list this morning. It's Modern Monday. Why not? Let's do it. Let's take a look at the movinest cards in the game here this morning. First up on our list is this card, Shining Shoal. Interesting. Up 65% to $2.98. Let's read the card. This one's from Betrayers of Kamigawa. I didn't open any of this, and I wasn't playing Magic while this card set came out, but so that's what's interesting to me. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's got some fish swimming around. Looks like some toilet paper fish. These fish are toilet papering this guy. That's hilarious. All right. The Shining Shoal. Shining Shoal. All right. So you may exile a white card with converted mana cost X from your hand rather than pay the spell mana cost. It's an alternative. Casting cost, instant speed, arcane. That says the next X damage that a source of your choice would deal to you or another creature you control this turn is dealt to any target instead. This is good. You can pay exile a white card with mana cost X from your hand rather than pay it. So you got to pay the 2 white. No, you can just pay. You can just pitch. I don't think rather than pay its mana cost. Period. The next X damage that would be so Jack's using it. Humans, of course. Darien, isn't this right? And generic Ragavan and Alti the Nest Tender. Let's look at the Mono White Humans deck. Is this Darien that's warning this? I gotta ask. This is played in Modern. Hank the Obese is writing this, okay? Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Champion of the Parish. Esper Sentinel. This is the one that's a little tax card. Hopeful Initiate, training, remove 2 1/1 counters from any creature you control. Thing is, you got to play something that's big enough. I guess you want to just save something with this, right? Thalia, Resplendent, Cathar, Solitude. I guess you could pitch a Solitude for 5. Chancellor of the Annex. Yeah, this is what you're pitching. You need something big. What did I say? You need a Chancellor. A 7-mana Chancellor. Right? This guy. So that seems all right. And then the Shining Shoal and Emery's Call with Angels. Interesting. So that's where people are playing it. Shining Shoal, seen a tick up in price. Look at this spike. Let's just run this. Let's just run this chart back a little bit here so we can get a little bit better look. Brody's going to shrink because Brody's too tall. Let's go over here. So let's run this chart back. Shining Shoal. Shine your shoes, Governor. Shine your shoal up. Okay, so this card was about a 50 cents to $1 all the way up till Amonkhet, and then it's seen a tick up in price, and then it come down in price here. So we were talking about selling cards and buying them back later, and this is the thing in the stock market when people are shorting cards. That's called shorting. You know, big kid term. But say somebody were to borrow this card here, they could buy it back later for cheaper. But like, let's clear this out here. So looking back, it's had a bigger price spike. It went up to like $8. So the ceiling, and we have all these terms, right? I love to give you a stock term every day. Today's term is short, right? It's funny. Short. How does that? Shorting means you're going to sell something now and buy it back later, cheaper. Okay. So this was not the biggest tick up in price that we've ever seen with the Shoal. Pretty cool Magic card. Played in Humans, generic Ragavan. You can get it for $1.50 from the vendors right now, $1.50. And then there's people who have signed copies for $6. Seems like an interesting card from Betrayers. How much is the foil? Is there foil? Foil versions, $39. Wow, the multiplier on this is big, right? Let's get the calculator out, do some simple math. What's the foil multiplier? Okay, so if you're, what's that, Brody? A foil multiplier is how many times more expensive see here, this is $38 for the foil, and then the non-foil, what we saw just earlier, is $2 or $3, right? $3. So the foil multiplier is like over 10 on this. It's like 10 point something. So it's 10 times more expensive for the foil. Did this one move too? I kind of want to see. Yeah, the foil did take a kick up in price too, a hefty one. So this was $8 or $9. Now it's pumped up to 30, 40. Kind of expensive. We'll see if it holds. It did hold for a hot minute back in 2018 when it spiked the last time. I think this is a pretty cool card to cover here today, this morning. Again, humans playing it. What's this generic Ragavan? And is it Ragavan? Ah, it's just Dragon Rage Chandler. But there's a new guy in town. Hey, how you doing? Third Path Iconoclast. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 soldier. Shorting allied fetches would be my pick, depending on them. Really? Interesting. I love the fetch lands and shock lands. I missed like the first sets that had them, so when I got this is another thing. It's like time in the market, or timing the market. Sometimes you just gotta wait to open them. Hey, the weekly winners are interesting. I like this card. I think it could be legal in Pioneer as well, if I'm not mistaken. What's next up? The good morning, good morning. Contagion engine. The engine is running this morning. The contagion engine is running. Brody's got a new hat. You bet. A new chapeau. Thanks. Thanks and good morning to you. Happy to have you. Okay, so this is essentially the proliferation station. We saw it once already here. This sucker, this is 5% uptick, $20. Again, proliferate seems to be the hotness right now, right? Anything that puts counters on it. If you want to play it, it's going to cost you $20 to get it. Richie Dub says a $40,000 deck do exist. In fact, it is possible. It's like, how do you get the fun into your collection? Like, I'll tell you a story, okay? And Brody plays for fun. I do. I went to Bastion Games once, and it's one of my favorite local game stores. But it's not so local anymore because I don't live there anymore. But I went in there, and there was fellows playing casual Magic. This fella sit down, and he's like, "Do you want to play some Magic?" I was like, "Sure." I got Modern, and I had just sort of was breaking into Modern, and I was running, I think, an Izzet deck at the time. This is a number of years ago. I don't even remember what deck I was playing, but I know that Modern was fairly expensive to keep up to. And he's like, "Well, I don't have Modern. I have Pauper." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. And that sounds fine." He's like, "I'll play you with my Pauper deck." And I sat down, and this young man just crushed me with a Pauper deck, and like he was having a good time. Pauper decks aren't that expensive, and then I was like, "Wow, that's a really," and it was a cool deck. Like it went off, and it just crushed me. It was a good deck. It was a mono blue Pauper deck, and he's like, "Yeah, my dad's a competitive like Pauper player, so like he taught me how to play Magic since like I was little." And I play Pauper, and like I get the most fun out of it, right? So like fun, fun, and so if you want to get the fun in your collection, you don't need to have necessarily the most expensive cards. It's like how they work together, right? So you can build a fun deck that's really competitive that cleans up, and depending on what formats you were. But here's an example of a young man who was playing Pauper, and he would literally sit down and play against modern players and beat them up. And I was like, wow. And he was having a good time. So, like, sometimes having the most expensive deck isn't fun because when it doesn't win, you feel like you spent $20 on your Contagion engine and it didn't do its thing and is just sitting in your deck. And then people get frustrated and then they get off of those cards. But what's really fun is like having cards that you pick up and maybe they go up later, and like you got them for like a good price, that like the mite, like what coach is talking about. Like he pre-ordered that mite because he thought it looked cute, and I'm putting words in your mouth, but he thought it looked fun, right? So you order the mite and you're like, okay, I'm gonna order the mite because it looks like a couple of bucks I can get that into my collection. Looks fun, and then like you start winning with it. And if you got it on discount, it feels, for me, that's fun. Like getting value, getting the most bang for your buck. Good chat there, folks. I really do appreciate you folks for joining in the conversation. What is the most Commander Raids ads fun? Mine is maybe 200 bucks. Yeah, it's so yeah, I mean the dual lands coupled into 200 bucks. I played in modern. It doesn't use the oldest and the most valuable cards. Yeah, so I'm getting to a point where like if I open the foil Great Henge, I'll probably keep it. Like I wouldn't part with it, but like some decks I just look at it and I've come to terms with I'm like, okay, I don't need the most expensive version of this card in the deck. I could get like a non-foil version or a playable one. Like the foil multiplier on some cards like we just saw can be quite insane. Card I really like was Vexing Shusher. I don't know why. I just thought of that, but let's look at the Contagion Engine. This thing's 6 mana. Okay, it's 20 bucks. I wouldn't rush out and buy it, but if you play during Scars of Mirrodin and you have this, you're probably doing okay. The foil version's 30 bucks. It's 6 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you get a -1/-1 counter on each player, each target, each creature target player controls, and you can pay for it to tap it to proliferate and then proliferate again, which means like choose any number of permanents or players and give them all another counter. This is popular with Atraxa for sure. This is basically Atraxa is pushing like Atraxa is insanely pushing so many decks and so many cards up right now. Atraxas knew now another reanimate target. So if we see a good reanimate build around Atraxa, we're probably going to see the Goryo's Vengeance and the reanimate cards go up if that shell becomes good. Because people are even like, there's memes out there. People are memeing, move over Grizzlebrand Atraxa as the new reanimate target. Now I don't know about that. I'm like hard sell for Brody on that. But seriously, there's the power creep is real. We're in a real power creep phase right now with Hasbro. 2023 is going to be a year where there's lots of products coming out. And if you saw the short and the coverage we did on the Commander Masters sets, I'd help you to join in. I would advise you please join in that discussion too. Some of that stuff is just insane. We're going to get hit with a ton of products this year. They're going to be coming at us hot and heavy and hard and fast, and it's not going to stop. With Wizards, there's going to be products flying left and right. So get ready to duck and dodge like Ben Stiller on Dodgeball. There's going to be a lot of products coming at us really fast. So the Contagion Engine, another card getting pushed by Atraxa. That one's definitely, and this Marrow-Gnawer, really cool card. This is a rat. This is the rat, legendary rat rogue. This would be what you played in Rat Tribal, I suppose. The Secret Lair, Year of the Rat foil. All right. And then where's the foil Kamigawa? Okay, so look, if you're new to Magic, take a look at this one. The right now, this is the thing. Don't take my word for it. Just look at the charts. Okay, so this Marrow-Gnawer has been seeing a little bit of a tick up in price. So this is an example where like the foil multiplier isn't insane. The non-foils, this is 30 bucks. This is an expensive card. All rats have fear. Sacrifice a rat, create a 1/1 rat token. So notice how we've got like all these commander decks turning up here. Like commander, 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 commander. Historic brawl. I don't even know the rules to that format. Commander 1v1, and then this is another historic. So all these are commander, even though we're running the modern list. Like I said, there's bad information. So like don't kid yourself. Even though we're running the modern list here this morning, folks, these cards are just modern legal, and it could be some other formats like Commander Raids that are driving them. I don't understand why brokers ascendancy is not worth more money, especially in proliferate. Let's check it out. Brokers ascendancy. What card do we want to look at? Let's look at the broker's ascendancy. Streets of New Capenna. I was really excited about the Streets of New Capenna. I love the cartoon art. Okay, out of all the types of artists out there, the Kaya Folio and the cartoony type of art cards, like I prefer like this stuff, like, you know, like this art is awesome. Like you got like these, it's kind of like these cat caricatures and stuff. Like it's not trying to be too realistic like a photograph. This is more of like really cool. So let's look at Broker's Ascendancy. Bob says this card should be worth something. A little more. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. Wow. Talk about a cheap pickup. Let's keep that on. I'm going to put that down. I got a pen and paper here. Okay, so I'm putting lists, cards on a list, Broker's Ascendancy, because I'm thinking, like, not only do I want to pick up some reserve list stuff for the collection, I might want to get some decent speculation. So Phyrexian Infiltrator, Channeler of the Forge, Azuri's Predation, Phyrexian Unlife, Broker's Ascendancy, and are all cards that I have written, and Power Leech are all on the list for cards that I want to pick up. Now I'm like making a little list, right? Because I mean I don't want to run out and like order make too many orders. I kind of want to like I'm gonna buy list. I'm gonna buy list. I'm gonna trade in these cards on the from the collection. I'm gonna pick a. I'm gonna get a pretty good stack going here, but they're so I want to know like this is the thing. You got to be organized. Like Anger was saying, selling and buying cards as a player is different than selling and buying cards as a store. We want to get the fun into our collection. So if I can look and kind of make a list ahead of time, so I kind of know what I'm going to be picking up once I do the buy list. That's better than running on just like complete emotion, right? It's like I got this store credit, I gotta spend it, right? That's the trouble for Brody, right? I get excited and I can't, store credit keeps pretty well. I wouldn't mind building a bit of store credit or getting set to buy list and build a little bit of store credit, just simply because with the amount of products that are coming at us this year, the amount of money Hasbro has borrowed, and the amount of products they're going to have to sell, and the price point they're going to have to sell them for, I don't think is going to fly. The It's kind of a balloon right now. I think now is the perfect time to pop Hasbro's balloon, and we might be getting some cards next year on discount. So Maronar, Cavern of Souls, this card, we looked at it last week. It's up 2%. It's just ticking up in price. It's going to see a reprint. It will. And this is a card I have one of, but I would never sell out of this card altogether. Like, for example, people say cards like this is just too much money for me. At $60, this is a card that is too much money to just sell out of completely. I would keep at least a copy of it, and I have one. It's a card that was very difficult to acquire because I never opened it, and it's expensive and it's really playable. I wanted to play this in modern. It's good in legacy. It's good in so many formats. It's land, so it never goes out of style. It's always good because real estate is always a good investment in Magic the Gathering. It's colorless. It works in so many decks. Brody, make sure you get Ebon Praetor, the only Praetor you need. I do have copies of it with the bunny. The bunny card is a very good card. Even still, the print runs are so high now with the collector boosters and all the variants. I want a Kyle Folio autograph card so bad I'll take a common. Someone stole 4 caverns. Dope. Brody, make sure you get the Praetor. So this Cavern of Souls is really good. It taps when it comes into the battlefield. You choose a creature type. So whatever tribal you're doing, this basically goes in any tribal, anything tribal. If you're worried about it, if you're building red, you can put this in there. If you're building, any tribal. If you're building minotaurs, it can go in there. If you're doing zombies, it can go in there. If you're doing merfolk, it can go in there. Giants is also playing it in modern legacy. Look at this. So this is a card this is, if you're wondering why it's $60, this is why. It's played in so many different formats. It's played in modern, legacy, vintage, commander. So it's played in all. So Krenko the mob boss is playing it in goblins, Boros initiative, Dragon, Silesia initiative, Merfolk is playing it, White initiative. I want to look at the latest initiative deck. Holy smokes, the vintage list. Here's a $65,000 vintage deck. Mono White initiative. So this is a deck that was speculated to be very good. Just take a minute. Let me take a minute here. I just want to have a look over at MTG Top 8 because I want to see if we got any new standings. So this is the show where we tie it all together, right? We're looking at the stock desks, the movers and the shakers, and a couple other any card pricing sites that you guys want to look at. But we also tie it all together by taking a look at the metagame, and I'm going to do that over at MTG Top 8. So let's just take a look in vintage for a second and then see what's good. So the last February 13th, Esper Control top 8, Paradoxical Oath, Bizarre Doomsday. So Paradoxical still mud, still making a presence, but the initiative deck not in the top 8. Let's look at the 8 other decks plus 8 other decks. Bizarre Initiative Hate Bears. So here's an initiative deck. Went 10th place. So initiative wasn't in the top 8. It was in the top 10. Archon of Emeria. With this card, each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tap. So this one's taking the initiative. So this deck build is seeing. So this is the $65,000 or $45,000 version. First place at the Vintage Preliminary on the 20th of February. So just about a week ago. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, Anointed Peacekeeper, Archon of Emeria. There it is again. Loran, Seasoned White Plume Adventurer, Seasoned Engineer, and Solitude. When you attack, you get the initiative. Let's take a look here. MTG Initiative. What does it mean, right? Let's get it right. Let's get it right. The initiative is a player's designation similar to Monarch, introduced in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, and is the only way to enter the Undercity dungeon. One player at a time can have the initiative. The initiative has the following ability. Whenever you take the initiative, the start of the game, no player has the initiative. The initiative status only enters the game through a card's ability, and that causes that player to take the initiative. Once a player has the initiative, they retain the initiative until another player's creature deals combat damage to them, at which point that creature's controller takes the initiative. If the player already has entered the dungeon differently than from Undercity, when the initiative triggers, it moves further into that dungeon. Comparisons to Monarch. Initiative shares a number of designations with the Monarch, providing a continuing advantage as long as the designation is maintained. Applies to one player at a time. Starts the game applying to nobody. Is granted explicitly with card's ability, but it's essentially to be able to enter that Undercity dungeon. Seasoned Dungeoneer, right? So initiative is popular in vintage. So this card, this modern Cavern of Souls, is playing it. It's definitely on the list. Ratcatcher. What a wild time. $1,000 standard decks, right? It's insane. Oh, that's too bad, Richie Dubs. Can someone please explain the One Piece TGC crate? Can somebody please explain the One Piece TCG craze and why it's blowing up my MTG feed? Trash overproduced anime. Oh, the One Piece tradable card game? I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check it out. I will check it out today after the stream. Check out the rat catcher. This Ogre Roger. Ogre Roger, we cheer. Ogre Roger, we call Ratcatcher over. This has fear. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a rat, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. This seems fine. It catches the rats, right? Oh, such a lore, right? This is a cool card. Good flavor. What's playing it? Yes, the Maronar deck. Caramonix the Rat King. This is the other rat commander that I guess we just got in Phyrexia. All will be one. So this guy, the Impaled Water. This is the Caramonix the Rat King. Toxic 1. Other rats have toxic. When Rat King enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 of your library. You may reveal any number of rats from among them. Put it on the battlefield or put it in your hand. Then reveal. Oh, wow. It just tutors up. It's like the Goblin Recruiter. It's like a rat recruiter. Benson, think we can make money at this? Yeah, it's a trading card game from anime One Piece. Ignore me. That junk is making me salty. One Piece. Oh, I see. You could be posting content about One Piece. You could. You could have this. It's a niche market. You could. I don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna look it up. I'll try and see if I can if what it is. I'll try and check it out. So the Marinar, another rat card, rat catcher, Academy Ruins. This card keeps seeing it bump up in price, right? Academy Ruins. So land. I like this part though. $18. What's the foil worth? I think I did good by picking up a foil version of this long time ago when I first started in Commander. It's one of the very first cards I put into the deck because I wanted to play combo, and that's all Brody knows how to do. Only thing Brody knows how to do is take two artifacts that work well together, put them on the battlefield, and go tap, I kill you. Combo. Morning, Savannah Lion. Hey. Goedemiddag vanuit het Nederlands. Meneer, Savannah, Hans, goedemiddag. Welkom in het stream. Thank you for joining us here on the channel. Thanks for the comments. Savannah Lion, appreciate you for tuning in this morning. We got folks from all over the place. This is why I love doing the show. This place is the best place to hang out this morning. Twiddler's in the house. Tomorrow night will be, there should be something going on over there. Did I see the Twiddler? Yes, he's here. Twiddler's in the house. Savannah Lion, thank you for joining Life with me and the folks over on the show and the stock desk. Let's go. We're running the movers. We're running the movers and the shakers here. We're looking at Academy Ruins. The foil version's $35. So this basically goes with the Urtet. Of course, this is seeing a pump up in price because of Urtet. Urtet. All right. This is more of this speculation on Urtet. Oh, look at this guy here. Phyrexia all will be one commander. Yep. That'll do it. It'll reanimate your Lotus. It'll get your Lotus back. It'll get your Urtet back. It'll get any of your mirrors back. You can put it on top of the library. Urza Lord High, Belacor, the Dark Master. What is this card? You're still awake, DJ? DJ Longhair. Hello, people. Good morning, DJ. Thanks for joining. I hope you get a little rest. I keep saying every few months I should pick up an Academy Runes. I don't know what I'm waiting for. A reprint? I mean, yeah, it's tough because once cards get to about that $20-$30 mark, they're expensive, right? So then you're like, and like, if you can be patient, that's the thing. Is why I look at these. This is why I look at these lists every day because like I don't buy and sell cards too much, but when I do, I kind of want to know what I'm going to turn over in the collection for stuff that I want to get that is going to be good in the future. And then all the while, I'll open a little bit of products just to keep having fun with friends. And DJ says he's amped. Belacor, the Demon Master. I just want to take a look at this commander. It's Academy Runes running this. Oh, this is from the Warhammer 40K set that we were talking about. Flying Prince of Chaos. When he enters the battlefield, you draw X and lose X, where X is the number of demons you control. Ugh. Demons. Okay. Is it playing Liliana's contract? I should hope so. Let's see. Is it? Yes, it is playing Liliana's contract. All right, then they're doing it fine. That's fine. I give it a pass. It's totally okay. Let's check it out. We got Academy Ruins creeping up in price. The foil multiplier is not moving. I would say it's been also reprinted on. So, how do you think, like, the cards that get printed, is it printed on the list too? I guess that's another question. If it's printed on the list, no, it was reprinted in Time Spiral. Yeah, so it just got reprinted, Bob. I don't think it's going to see one for a little while. I mean, unless they go like, yeah, unless they go hard on it, right? Because that's what ends up happening. Savannah, Brody, Benson, good morning. I'm thinking of trying an auction stream. Ooh, gonna be like Christmas for you. How did the auction go, DJ? Avicen? The 8/8 Avicen Angel of Hope. Oh, she's $54. Wow. Avicen Angel of Hope hitting the list here this morning. It's popped up in price just another percent, but this is a $50 card. Wow. How expensive is Avicen? 54 bucks. The cheapest version is 54. Double Masters is 98. The promo is 100. Wow. I don't have this card, but look at it here. Look at the legs on this. This card is really quite incredibly high in price. Look at it, just keeps sailing up. Avicen all the way from $20 to $30 and then down again. It's seen only a couple of printings. This thing is like reprint equity, if you ask me. Dex using it. Kalia of the Vast. Oh, is that where that person gets their name from? It's like a take off of Kalia the Vast. Okay. Legendary creature. When Kalia the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. Ah, she's a cleric. She's a 2/2 for 4. She's Mardu. Ah, I like Mardu, but that seems pretty expensive. But whenever she attacks an opponent, you get anything. Seems really good. So I guess you can put an Avacyn onto the battlefield. Yeah, you can put angel, demon, dragon, or onto the battlefield. So yeah, Kalia goes and gets Avacyn. Oh my gosh. Time for a reprint of Avacyn, right? Is it time for a reprint? I got you there, Savannah Lions. Yeah. We'll see. It's a card that I'm not buying a $50 Avacyn. I'm gonna wait for a reprint. It's expensive. I don't want to play it that bad, but if I had one, I would keep it. Ranger of Captain of Cap Ranger Captain of EOS. Interesting card to see here on the list. This guy, $27. A mythic Ranger Captain of EOS enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice Ranger. All your opponents can't cast non-creature spells this turn. So he's a human soldier. He's 3/3. He tutors up a 1-drop. I guess it's with Winota. What's the 1-drop you're going to get? A Savannah Lions. That's right. He's riding on the Savannah Lions, maybe. That's the lion that he goes and gets. I don't know. He's got a bird, too. This guy is awesome. He's got a birdie on his shoulder. He's not wearing a helmet, though. He needs to put glasses on or at least complete his PPE because he's not very well protected. He's wide open to a headshot. But it's running in the Winota deck. What are we getting? Avacyn should be $25 anyway, right? Ranger Captain is good. Yeah, I know. It seems like a lot of money, right? The 1-drop. Well, oh, it goes and gets the Skrelv. It goes and gets this Might. That's why it's good now. Ah, that's what it goes to get. It goes to get the Might. It gives protection. You can go get the Mother of Ruins to give protection. The Might is like a Mother of Ruins on steroids, I guess. Look at this. Look at the art version of this sucker here. Oh my gosh. Sword of Fire and Ice. If you've seen the stream over the weekend, Jandon took the game with cats and swords. It was pretty awesome. He had all the swords out, and the hammer just crushed everybody. This is the good one, the Sophie. Protection from blue and from red. Whenever it deals damage to a player, deals 2 and target to any target, and you draw a card. So that's pretty good. Death and Taxes. Yeah, Death and Taxes play. They play this on the Mirren Crusader. So, like, where is he? The Mirren Crusader. It's not in here. I mean, to me, the Mirren Crusader is like the best target because it has protection from black and from green. So then, like, the only thing that you don't have protection from is white. But nevertheless, maybe there's some better. You can always put it on a Flicker Wisp or any of these other cards. Why not? It's fine. And last but not least, right? Savannah Lions giving me some good memes over there. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hans. Love it. Was just reprinted in Double Masters. You can buy a lowest tier condition in cards like Avison if you want it for Commander. It's usually what I do. I don't need high grade near mint if it's going in the sleeve for a deck. That's good. Go get a Ragavan. Avison should be 25 bucks. Yeah, you don't need the most expensive version. Last one on the list here is this Elish Norn Grand Cenobite, making more moves, the 2015 edition. The new Phyrexia one is the exact same amount of money. It's like printing a $50 bill. Yes, it is. Man. +2, -2 for all your stuff. +2 for all your stuff. -2, -2 for your opponent's stuff. It's going in the Mother of Machines deck, so... Who's your mama? That's, I guess, what we could say. Who is your mama? Is it the Mother of Machines or is it the Grand Cenobite? Michael Superbacker, thanks for tuning in, buddy. I really appreciate you. You know what time it is? It's the Bro. It's a morning show. Thanks for joining me here today. We're going to read some chats. I'm going to get on with the day. Safe adventures out there to everybody who's watching the very best Magic the Gathering morning stream in the universe. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Shout out to you, Mr. DJ Long. Who's your Mother of Machines? Hey. It's got a blast. Let's take a quick look at the Pioneer list here. Ooh, Mutavault on the top here. Coach was right. Creativity, yes. Mana Confluence. Zakama, the Primal Calamity, gone up 14 bucks. I traded that in a while ago. I think I got 20 bucks for it, so I'm doing okay. Geisha, Sun's Avatar. See, that's in the box. I might pull it out. It's going to go up. Anointed Procession is $50. Wow. Scarab God. Ooh, good stuff. The community is